Want to talk about this news story from September 29th, 2018, this past Saturday. It was a breaking story, the surveillance video of the murder of the rapper XXXTentacion was put out. And recall, he was killed June 18th earlier this year. So one should ask, why did they wait this long to release the video? In case you're wondering if I think the video is real, I do not. It looks completely contrived and staged, but that's not the point of this video. I'm going to show you why they put this story out September 29th and the distance in days from June 18th that they did. This is part of a repetitive pattern throughout history connected to the reported deaths of rappers, including Tupac Shakur, Notorious B.I.G., and many more. And of course, XXX was compared to Notorious B.I.G. He broke his record for most record sales in the aftermath of his death. Anyhow, this is what's special about September 29th. It's the day leaving 93 days left in the year, a very special number to a certain group of people. It's a number that symbolizes time. It's a number that symbolizes death. It's a number that symbolizes the planet Saturn, which is associated with death and time. But beyond that, it's also a number connected to the cross and the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. And, that shouldn't be a hard concept to understand with rappers. Here's a Tupac's album put out after his murder. Here's Kanye West, recent statue revealed in Hollywood out of nowhere. And anyway, let's go through this piece by piece. September 29th, even before we get to the Jesus part, is the day leaving 93 days left in the year. The word recording in Gematria sums to 93. We're talking about a recording artist, and then we're talking about a recording, a surveillance video being released on the day leaving 93 days left in the year. This language of coding numbers into words, it's a Jewish practice. It comes from Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism that says God created the world by merging the letter with the number. And it's no secret who runs the world of entertainment, including music recording. All of these rappers have Jewish executives behind them. All of them. Recording 93. This code, Jewish. The media is very Jewish. The media does everything by this code. And I'm not speaking out against Jewish people. Don't twist my words. I'm just stating facts and saying what is. Not all Jewish people are responsible for this. Most Jewish people don't even know about this code. But the people who do know about it, they are Jewish. We're talking about a certain group of Jewish people. So now with the Jesus Christ part, God's Son equals 93, crucifix 93, Nazareth 93. If you look up the time that Jesus was crucified according to the Bible, it was between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. in the afternoon, between 9 and 3. And there's a story from about a decade ago, well, not even quite a decade, 6 years ago now. Modern science, they said they figured out what day Jesus was crucified on our modern calendar. And the day science said was April 3rd, which is the 93rd day of the year. And what's funny is April 3rd can be written 4/3. Jesus Christ equals 43. So understand it. The stuff that gets reported in the news, it is contrived by this numerical code. The other thing to think about with 93 is they say the sun in the sky, is 93 million miles away on average. If you have read my book, I talk more about that calculation of 93 million miles and how it goes back to the Greeks from the Hellenistic period, and in English Gematria, Hellenistic period equals 93. Alexander the Great equals 93 from that same period of time. Special number, that's the point. Special number that's used repetitively in rituals, especially suspicious deaths. So anyway, in light of the cross and crucifix, here's Tupac again, his Machiavelli album after his death. Just before his death, He was in the Smile video with Scarface where he was on the cross. The last music video he released was I Ain't Mad at Ya, where he was in heaven. Little predictive programming. If you're not familiar with Tupac's music, he must have had at least 20 songs released where he talked about how, his fans need to embrace his early death. He needs to embrace his early death. He died, and then Notorious B.I.G. died right after him, and Notorious B.I.G.'s 2 albums were Ready to Die. That was the first album he released, Ready to Die. And then the next one was Life After Death, with him leaned up against the back of a hearse. Anyway, with the alphabetic order, we just talked about the words that sum to 93. Let's talk about the words that sum to 74 right now. And I was just doing a little bit of research this morning on the Talmud and Jesus and 74, and I'll show you the post after this. There's actually something in there. I think this is where the 74 thing comes from with Jesus. But anyway, with the alphabetic order, all of these things sum to 74. Killing, rapper, Machiavelli, the play on Machiavelli, how Tupac wrote his rap name, the cover where he's on the cross. Jesus 74, Messiah 74, Cross 74, Parables 74, Gospel 74. This is our most straightforward cipher. The alphabetic order, it's the same one we used for God, Son, Nazareth, Crucifix, recording. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, E is 5, all the way up to Z, the 26th letter is 26. This is as straightforward as Gematria gets. One of the 4 base ciphers, the most basic. And what's sad is so often I show this to people and they think it's just a coincidence. And look, if you think it's a coincidence, I want you to understand that you're not good at mathematics. The odds of a word summing to 74, if you just pulled a word out of a hat and added up to the value, the odds of it summing to 74 are about 1%. So about 1 in 100. So if you multiply 1 in 100 times 1 in 100, so just like killing and rapper, for example, if we didn't know and we pulled them out of the hat, we pulled out these 2 words and we calculated them and they both hit 74, the odds would be 1 in 100 times 1 in 100, which is 1 in 10,000. And if then you pull out the next word and it sums to 74 too, it's times another 100. So now it's 1 in 10,000 times 100, which is... These numbers get big, don't they? That's 1 in a million. 1 in a million. And then, so we're going to times by 100 again. So now to get 4 in a row is 1 in 100 million. And then times another 100 is, what's 100 million times 100? It doesn't really matter, does it? Because you see how big the odds of this all being a perfect match are. It's astronomical. You have better chances of winning the lottery. What it proves is what I've been saying since 2013. The English language is very well thought out. People who know the code build words based on this sequence intentionally. How many different ways could you mutilate the name Machiavelli until you get it to sum to 74, which is exactly what they did. This isn't how Machiavelli spelled his name. They made it sum to 74, so they get this nice shot here. Notice cross is 74, Jesus 74. What are the odds of this, too? Now where we get into factoring in the artwork and everything lining up, So there's another cipher. You just flip the alphabetic order around. You make Z1, you count back to A as 26. Guess what? Tupac equals 74 when you do that. Good name for a rapper, huh? Rapper 74. See all these things 74. Gospel, parables, cross, Messiah, Jesus, Machiavelli, rapper, killing. English equals 74. Gematria 74. Gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words. There's a song called Gematria, the killing name. There's a song called Murder by Numbers. This is what these songs are about. Here's another cipher. It's one of our base ciphers as well. There's 4 base ciphers. The alphabetic order, the reverse alphabetic order, and then those 2 orders incorporating the rules of numerology. So this is the reverse alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. That just means making each letter a single-digit number. So in reverse, J is the 10th letter with the alphabetic order, right? To get the reverse value of J, you take 27 minus 10. 27 minus the alphabetic order placement. So J becomes 17 in reverse. 10 normal, 17 in reverse. In the numerology method, you got to break down 17 to a single digit. So 17 becomes 1 plus 7 is 8. So that's why J is 8 in reverse. E. Again, E is the fifth letter with the alphabetic order, right? So you take 27, you minus 5, that gives you 22. So E is 22 with the reverse alphabetic order. In the numerology reverse, it's 2 plus 2. E breaks down to 4. You see, that's how it works. So anyway, Jesus Christ is also 74. You learn the 4 base ciphers, you can really see how thoughtful the coding is behind the English language. Now let's talk about Kanye West, known as Yeezus, now known as Yandi. This statue of him was put there February 22nd, 2017. 2 plus 22 is 24, plus 20 more is 44, plus 17 more is 61. This statue was put here on a date with 61 numerology. And Hollywood, entertainment, Jewish, this code Jewish. Anyway, 61 date numerology. When you flip the alphabetic order around, cross is 61. Jesus is 61. Yeezus is 61. He's got his new album coming out, Yandi, by the number 61. This Yandi album was supposed to release on September 29th, the day leaving 93 days left in the year. He moved it to November 23rd. And I just put out a video yesterday on why he moved it to November 23rd, another very appropriate date. September 29th would have been perfect. November 23rd might even be more appropriate. Check it out. But Tupac's also 61 with the alphabetic order. Tupac ended up on the cross, didn't he? See how this works? How about XXXTentacion, 61? And let's think about XXXTentacion. That X at the beginning of his name. Isn't an X a cross? It's just a cross tipped over, isn't it? So you get the news about his killing, or the video of his supposed killing on the day leaving 93 days left in the year. No. I should also mention that the name Jesus has Gematria of 29 as well, when you break it down. On the 29th. But hold on, there's more. Remember this headline? This was right after his death. XXXTentacion breaks Billboard record previously held by Notorious B.I.G. Now, what day was Notorious B.I.G. killed? He was killed March 9th. How can you write March 9th? Can you write it 9/3 like 93? Like another black man on the cross? March 9th can also be written 3/9. Biggie equals 39. He was a New York rapper. Everything's 39 in New York. New York's 39. Empire's 39. NY's 39. NYC's 39. The United Nations there is 39 floors tall. Every rigged New York Super Bowl ever won, 4 by the Giants, 1 by the Jets, all come back to 39. G-Men equals 39. Anyway, Notorious B.I.G. died March 9th. He died a span of 74 days from his 25th birthday. A span of 74 days. What are the odds? What are the odds? With regards to this whole Jesus Christ crucifixion ritual, wrote about this the day this man died. I wasn't making videos at the time because I was too busy working, but I did do a blog post on the day of his death and Jimmy Wapo's death. They both were killed on the same day. Talked about how it was a very clear crucifixion ritual. Another black rapper killed by the Jesus Code. Jesus Christ 151, XXXTentacion 151. And I guess just in case you haven't seen the video I recently did on the relationship between his death and Mac Miller's death, I think I have all this information in here. Hold on, I want to show you something. You see how his full name equals 216? His XXXTentacion, his name is Jose Dwayne Onfroy. You see that 216 right there? Remember that? I think I got the rest of this up here. Hold on. We're going to come back to that. We're just going to go through the rest of this, and then I'm going to come back to that point. I thought it was in that post, but it's in the post link down below. So here's a few other things. This is supposed to say September 29th. I did a typo there. September 29th, 18, the day they released this surveillance tape, it was a date with 56 numerology. XXXTentacion, alphabetic order and rules of numerology, also 56. This is why you want to know all 4 base ciphers. By seeing the values coded into his name, you see how they do all these rituals using each number. September 29th, 9 plus 29, that's also a date with 38 numerology. Rapper equals 38. He was killed in Florida, 38. Death, 38. Cross also has the Gematria 38. Kanye's new album's coming out on the day, leaving 38 days left in the year. Yandi. By the way, Gandhi, the real Gandhi, his wife was killed in connection to 74. That's a video I put out in 2014. So anyway, September 13th, 1996, Tupac Shakur's date of death, date with 38 numerology. Tupac Shakur also equals 139, like 13/9, like the day he died. His death was synced up with the release of All Eyes on Me. That album came out 2/13, like 213. He died 213 days later due to a drive-by shooting 213. Death 213. Black Panther 213. His mother's a Black Panther. The new Tupac movie, it starts with his mother, the Black Panther. Black History Month also equals 213. Tupac released All Eyes on Me February 13th in Black History Month. And notice Notorious B.I.G.'s death. We talked about the 74 days. Look down here. 2 months and 13 days. 213. Warren G said, you know what's up with 213? Notorious B.I.G. also dead on a date with 38 numerology. A lot of people die in connection to 38, especially rappers. You know? The date Tupac died, September 13th, 96, it was also a date with 118 numerology. 118. Death in Jewish Gematria is 118. It's the number I called Prince's death by before he died. Deerfield Park, Florida. This is where XXX was shot. 118. And let's go back to that headline we looked at in the beginning. September 29th, 2018. What time did they say he died at? What time did they post this article at? 1018, you think that's an accident? 1018, 0 doesn't count in numerology. So that's 118. Been educating about this stuff since 2013. They code out the news headlines with their propaganda. Everything is done by the numbers. This is the most important thing to Jewish Kabbalists. Numbers are everything, period. That's why they do everything this way every single day. And when you learn through the code, or when you learn the code, you can see through their sick rituals. From the day he died to the release of this surveillance video is 103 days later. That's the 27th prime. We talk about how these numbers come together in people's deaths often. That's why there's a 27 club, because it's the ritual number. A lot of people in the 27 club have died 103 days from their birthday. 103, the 27th prime. This young man wasn't that old. But understand, a lot of people who've died outside of the age of 27 have still died in connection to these numbers. Now, here's what I want to talk about real quick. I want to close out again, just in case you didn't see my work, on XXX and all that is coded into his rap name as well as his birth name. Oh yeah, he was also killed June 18th, which has the gematria of 151, like his rap name. But here's what I want you to see. 151 is the 36th prime number. 151 is the 36th prime. Prime numbers are numbers that cannot be divided. Only one and the number itself divides into 151. 151 cannot be divided. 151 is the 36th prime. If you add the numbers 1 through 36 together, they sum to 666. 666. The number from Revelation 13:18. His birth name is Jose Dwayne Onfroy, which sums to 216. That's the product of 6 times 6 times 6. 216. You remember the year LeBron James won the finals where I guaranteed he was going to win it? Even when he was down 3-1, I said, this is the time to bet. He's going to win on Game 7 on the real King James's birthday. And I won a ton of people a ton of money. And I win people a ton of money every single week who follow my sports knowledge and who are now subscribed to my Patreon. But anyway, that year, they said LeBron had gone to the NBA Finals 6 straight times. He was the first player to go to 6 straight finals since 66 when Bill Russell did it. The first player to go to 6 straight finals since 66. 666. LeBron was playing in the 216 area code. And the final game in Cleveland, Game 6, the combined score was 216 points before he won it on the real King James' birthday in Game 7. And don't forget, King James has a Bible named after him, the same Bible that teaches about this code and the number 666. The point is, they use these rituals a lot. His birth name, Jase, in the Sumerian cipher, sums to 666. So, again, his rap name, 151, the 36th prime. 666 is the 36th triangular number. His birth name, Gematria 216, the product of 6 times 6 times 6, and his birth name, Jase, in Sumerian equals 666. Now, what is XXX? X is the 24th letter of the alphabetic order. What's the numerology of 24? 2 plus 4 is 6. XXX is 666. Who do you think gave this man his rap name? What is 6 plus 6 plus 6? 18. What day was he killed? June 18th, the 6th month, the 18th day. What's the verse about 666? Revelation 13:18. 13's the 6th prime number. 18 factors into 6 plus 6 plus 6. Revelation is the 66th book of the Bible. In my book, Letters and Numbers, in chapter 3, I teach you a lot about Revelation 13:18, all the many things that are coded into the verse, because there's a lot. And I show how they use those numbers as riddles so often. And in that chapter, I talk about how they love to do 666 tributes with LeBron James. And by the way, LeBron equals 66. LeBron James equals 66. Number of the beast equals 66. Number of a man equals 66. Revelation, the 66th book that teaches about 666, says the man with wisdom will know how to calculate the number of the beast. When you flip the alphabetic order around, math equals 66. You see? For one last closer about the Jesus Christ ritual, his birthday, XXX, XXXTentacion, from his birthday to the day he was killed was 146 days later. Jesus Christ equals 151. When you flip the alphabetic order around, Jesus Christ equals 146. This is why they've waited until September 29th, the day leaving 93 days left in the year, crucifixion day, to release this video of his killing. And I could be wrong saying that, the video's fake, but if you look at the video, it looks pretty fake. And the thing to remember is death sells. His record went from selling okay to the number one seller. It beat Notorious B.I.G.'s record. Think about that. One of the best-selling rappers of all time. Death sells. The recording industry knows this. What I'm trying to say is some of these rappers, they might still be alive and well, living outside of the spotlight. The world's a big place. So, we'll leave it here, Truth Seeker. If you missed my video on the recent Mac Miller death, but before he even died, I said why there was going to be a death on September 7th, and it ended up being him by the numbers. After he died, I did a lot of videos. There were so many riddles with his death. He died on the same day Tupac was shot, the same day that was Eazy-E's birthday, the same day that LeBron James and Kevin Durant, their rap song was released after all these years. It Ain't Easy, which is the name of a Tupac song, and It Ain't Easy on Eazy-E's birthday. And then also on that day, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj got in a fight by the numbers. All this stuff just sells records. And it's all ritual, and it's all clockwork, and it's all done by the same code. But if you didn't miss my videos on Mac Miller, go back and check it out. Long playlist, rituals with Ariana Grande, rituals with history in the past, and that death is even synced up with XXX. And, you want to see just how thoughtfully all of this stuff is executed. So, from the XXX death to the Mac Miller death was 81 days later. It's a ritual number. And Jose Dwayne Onfroy, XXX, his birth name also has that Gematria 81. So leave it there. Until next time.